are in the reservation at the Watchung Reservation, and we're here to show exercise today and take this group of people over here through some proper form and technique. But we're going into winter in these weird, wacky times, and we want to increase our immune system and really boost it up. And one of the best ways to do that is through exercise. And then, of course, eating right to support the exercise so that you make good, healthy physical changes and we stay healthy through this coming winter. So I'm here, Kathi Sottosanti. I'm a coach, a physical fitness trainer, and a mindset trainer. And with me is Jennifer Padlow. She is also a coach and a personal trainer in town, and nurse Karen Sforza, who is frontline worker, and she's here for crowd control. So let's get started. She's waving from the background. Tell them to calm down. All right. So the first exercise we're going to go over is the squat. So if you could all stand up, that would be great. All right. So the squat is a great move to build lower body strength. We build lower body strength. We add lean muscle to our body. We burn more calories at rest. So that's going to be one of the most important things to do, is just add lean muscle. And the teenage crowd is the best because this is a great time to really start, and starting safely is the most important thing. So let's get our feet about hip width apart, toes slightly out, and feel free to chime in on anything at any time. You're going to back up here. So we're going to be working on correcting form in the audience at the same time. All right, so feet about hip width apart, toes slightly out, and you want to sit back in your seat. Your toes are going to wiggle and you're going to come onto your heels. So sit back onto your seat. Good. The goal is not to have the knees come past the toes. Now you're going to feel a little unbalanced to start. That's okay. We would rather get good form feeling unbalanced than be on your toes. So we were talking about showing how not to do it. Do you want me to do that over here? Okay, so how not to do it is to start with your knees. So don't do it this way and push them forward. And if you can see, I'm on my toes by doing that. We don't want to do that. So feet on the ground, sit back in your seat and come up. So let's say you've got a break in between classes. Why not get a set of 15 to 25 squats in? You will help yourself by moving up and down through gravity. It's extremely important, especially for us older folks and anti-aging, to move through gravity. All right, so let's do a set of 5 and start with sitting back in your seat. And Jen, you want to take the side? Sure. Sit back in your seat. Keep your chest up. Sit back. Good. And back. Now, if you were competing in powerlifting, the goal is to get lower, get your hips lower than your knees. You'll have a bar on your back. That's a whole nother story, but the goal is to get, that looks good. So now a regression could be not to go as deep. So a regression, let's say that was too hard for somebody, could be to go into a quarter squat, not all the way down. And then as you get better, if you want to work harder or you want to challenge yourself, one of the things you can do is a jump squat, or is it a squat jump? We don't know. Back down and up, squat down and up. So this is a progression. So that's one way to make it good. And one of the things I saw at the gym just this past week with some teenagers was they were jump squatting, but they were going knees first, coming up. So we want to really make sure we're doing it right. So, okay, good job on the squat. Let's move on to the lunge. Now, one of the things that people do most often is they do a lunge in a tightrope. So if you know a tightrope walker, right, it's one foot in front of the other. That will give you less balance than if you were to have some space between your legs. So when we work or think about a lunge, we step forward and then back knee comes to the ground. So I like to use the example of proposing here, because people know if you're proposing, you get on one knee, right? So you come out and you get on one knee. So to lunge, let's put one foot forward. We'll start with a static lunge and bring our back knee down and up, down and up. So same thing here. We want to come down and up without coming past our knees past our toes. So like we talked about in the squat, that looks good. So see how you have some space between your feet? You all look good. That looks awesome. Now switch sides. All right, so this is a static lunge because I'm not moving forward or back. I'm just bringing my back knee down. And then if I want to move in a lunge, I can take it forward and back. All right, so our regression for a lunge is stepping back.
Because you're counterbalancing.
Counterbalancing.
Edit this out.
Okay, well that's good. No, that's perfect. I like that because you're counterbalancing. So reverse lunge helps if the regular lunge is a little too difficult by going forward. And then another thing or way to progress it would be a jump lunge. So here, 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 here. So that takes it up and helps with power, agility, sports, athletes. Just make sure that form is right. So what you want to do first is get form right.
Can I also just add in, think about yourself as like a carousel horse, because a lot of people when they do their lunges, they'll do this. They start leaning and rocking. So if you think of yourself like that carousel horse, you're going to just allow the lower body to do the work.
Okay, so what Jen's saying is think of yourself as a carousel horse, which is great. So as you know, in a carousel, the horse is attached up here, so that keeps your body in an upright position instead of angling down. We want to be able to see what's on the sweatshirt. All right, everybody's doing a great job. That looks good. All right, let's go to the push-up. All right, so the push-up is a great move that is all body weight and can be done at any time in your home all day long. So again, in between classes, after school, at the gym, there's a number of ways to do this and to do it safely. The most important thing I would say is the core and not dipping at the back, and then making sure your arm position is set so that your hands are by your side. So let's get down on the ground and or the mats, whatever you have. So you want to have your hand position be a little wider so that you're coming down almost into a half a rectangle and then pushing back up. Let's talk about breathing too. All right, good. So we want to be able to, I don't know if it's going to be able to see me, but hands outside my body, down and up. And let's talk about breathing. Inhale down, exhale up. But another way to do this is on your knees. What happens a lot with the mat is that people want to keep their hands inside the mat, and then that's going to make it a little too narrow in a lot of cases. So don't go by the mat. If I'm here, down and up, down and up. So another way to do it. And it's not like they're girl push-ups and guy push-ups. And you know, that would be like saying to somebody if they can't do it, then they got to do the girl version, and that's not the case, right?
We could even regress even more by going on all fours.
Yes. Okay, let's do that. So this is for anybody watching, kids, adults. Could be in a table position, as long as your hands are in the right position. Down and up.
And that's a great one also if you're working on the triceps.
Right, so triceps. Now to work triceps, you're going to come in a little closer. Arms are going to be by your body. This is one is often performed incorrectly. So good. So shoulders over hands, then elbows to the rib cage. Good. You want to make sure that the back is still protected. So
regression on this one, you can go all the way down, bring your hands off the floor, bring them back up, and then push. So you allow yourself a slight rest.
All the way down,
Yep.
up,
And
then
up.
push back up.
Yep.
All the way down, up, push back up. Looks good. So you incorporate these body weight exercises into your day, you're going to make progress. You're going to start building up a body that is going to be even stronger when we are able to get back to the gym. All right, we're going to go into bridges. Another great, easy to do exercise from home. Let's go onto our backs. Knees are bent. Hands are by the side. And then squeeze your glutes and lift. Squeeze your glutes and lift. So this is a great way to work the back side of the body. This is an easy one to get right, which is nice. Squeeze and lift, and then you work those glutes, which are glutes and down are a great place to add lean muscle because you've got all this space to really build strength, and that will help with your performance in sports as well when they come back. Now we're going to talk about biceps. All right, now I'm going to do bicep curls with no weights. Why? Because if you use your muscle, you can build muscle. Building muscle is working against gravity. So we want to take our hands, we have no weights, but if you've got weights, you can work with them. This is just to show the mechanics. And then squeeze your fists and pull through the mud. And then release. Now breathing on the bicep curl. Breathe out on the way up. Inhale on the way down. So that's going to work the front side, this area of the arm. And you want to make sure that you're not fishing, meaning we're not dipping back from our back, so we're not coming back this way. So breathe out, inhale. I'm going to go over two more, the plank and crunches. All right, so a plank is a great core exercise. This is going to be done on the ground. Key elements are going to be shoulders over hands, pushing away and pushing through your feet. So let's come back down to the mat. A couple of ways to do this. Shoulders over hands, and then push through the feet. Engage everything from glutes to quads, your core.
So while you guys are in that position,
Yep.
I'm going to actually just have you think of, so come down on your knees for a second so you can rest. I'm going to have you think about some stuff. So I'm going to cue, and then as I cue, you're going to move your body in those directions so that we make sure we get into a really nice plank position. So make sure that your shoulders and your wrists are in line with one another, okay? So you're getting yourself in position. Now if you have bad wrists, you can go up into a fist position as well, or hold some weights. So if you have some dumbbells, you can hold those weights to relieve some of that tension. So just do what's going to be best for you today. Bring your legs up into that plank position. I want you, get your toes up. Now I want you to drop your weights back through your heels. So you're automatically going to feel the quads engage. Now I want you to pretend you have $1 million and it is in your little tushy. Squeeze your tushy like you are not going to give up that $1 million.
Nope.
Now tuck your pelvis under. You just made a crunch. So when you come up and you tuck under, I've just made a crunch, an abdominal crunch hold. Now what I want you to do is when you usually do that crunch, we crunch up the body. So get your shoulders away from the ears.
And if you need to break, you can
This is
squeeze and come back as
Yeah.
opposed to stretching or rounding down.
This is really a great full body exercise. You incorporate a lot of muscles. It's just not the abdominals. So if you have very little time, 30 seconds, 20 seconds of these, I wouldn't really do any longer than 45 seconds unless you're an athlete training for something.
Yeah.
But these are really, really great exercises to do.
All right, let's go to the crunch. Do you want to do this one? Come back down. All right. So a lot of times when we do these crunches, we'll get people coming back because I've done challenges where I've said, all right, 50 crunches today, and their neck hurts. That's because they're doing the crunch through their head and their neck. You want to affect your abdominal region. So you want to be able to lift just barely touching or hands behind the head. Breathe out as you curl up and inhale down with every breath. And then curl up from your whole upper body so that you're curling up and crunching through the center. Breathe out on the way up and just, we're not pulling from our necks. We're just hands slightly behind the head and then lift through shoulders as you breathe out. Breathe out. Breathe out.
So make sure that you keep your elbows up to the side. If you can see them in the corner of your eyes, you're perfect. If your elbows are coming in front of your face, you're probably taking your head with you and crunching your chin down. So it's a good way to think. If I could see my elbows on the side in the corner of my eyes, that's kind of where they need to be.
Right, so not too far here where I'm lugging my head up.
And chin away from the chest all the time. So you gaze forward up to the sky or the ceiling, where if you're inside, yep, and you exhale as you lift. Yeah, nice.
Good, breathe out, use your breath work.
Make sure you're
Breathe out.
pressing your lower back into the mat as well.
So what we're working on is or our abs for 2021. We're gonna be summer ready for 2021, right? Ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So that is the gist of a whole bunch of exercises, which we didn't use one weight. We were out here just with, getting form, and we could do this at home, and we strongly recommend. Nurse Karen, we've got Morgan, who couldn't be with us, but she's with us. She's a trainer in training. Jennifer Padlow and myself, Kathi Sottosanti, here to encourage you to increase our immune system by moving. If we go into the winter and we're at our computers all day, and then we're on our Xbox the rest of the day, and then it's time for dinner, which they're laughing at, we're not going to get any stronger. And we want to work against this thing that's annoyingly sweeping through, and we want to be stronger than it, and we can be by working out and exercising. So let's give a hand to everybody who participated. You guys were awesome. You guys were awesome. And now we're going to turn it over to Jen. We're going to be using DJ Renee's music from SoundCloud, and we're going to be taking them through an idea of a class. So hope you guys like this video. I'll put the flyer back up so you can follow us on Instagram or Coach Kathi, where we're going to work our butts on this winter, not off. You don't want to run them off, you want to work them on, to help keep everyone safe and encourage you to get involved in fitness for your sake and to motivate everyone else in your family.